I don't get it.
You saw what happened to Concord. You see what's going on with Marathon. I mean, Marathon is still in alpha, but yeah, that's not looking too good.
And I agree with him about Marathon, but again, we have to have nuance here. Marathon was a project in incubation at
Stop
Bungie
with
before
the
acquisition. That's not a
excuses,
PlayStation
Jimmy.
initiative. They didn't go to Bungie and tell them
Stop
to do
with
that.
the
If anything,
excuses,
Bungie had too many
Jimmy.
incubation projects, and they're getting
Stop
restructured by
with the
PlayStation right now.
excuses, Jimmy.
You can't pin Marathon to PlayStation. Just
Stop with the excuses, Jimmy.
it's like you can't pin Redfall to Microsoft. It's like Redfall
Oh,
was
really? Because the last time I checked, that's what you ponies did. And now all of a sudden you don't want to do the same exact thing for Concord as well as Marathon because you know these games are going to flop, man. Stop with the excuses, Jimmy.
the ZeniMax initiative because they
Stop
wanted more
with the
multiplayer games and live
excuses,
service.
Jimmy.
Redfall was a terrible idea. It had nothing to do with Microsoft.
Oh, here we
Microsoft
go.
inherited Redfall. PlayStation
Inherited.
inherited Marathon. You can't pin it to them. I don't
Oh,
think
really?
that's a nuanced way to look at
That's
it.
funny
I'm just
because
looking-
when that game failed for Microsoft, you was out here flaming and saying it was Microsoft's fault as to why they got 30 FPS. Now all of a sudden we can't use that same argument for PlayStation because our brand's not looking any better in comparison.
But I am sick of this live service push.
Ooh.
And it's just that Sony
Ooh.
has a gold mine with single-player
Ooh.
games. You know how they keep remastering and remastering the remasters of their current games?
Getting called out
Dude,
by
they can
real
pull back from
PlayStation
the
fans.
PS1, the PS2, the PS3 generation, and remake so many bangers, it's
You
ridiculous.
know, the generation that Reforge Gaming for some apparent reason missed out on.
Like, if they're in a position right now where they might be creatively bankrupt, all they gotta do is look backwards. Just randomly pick one of them, remake it, and you win.
The one guy from Sucker Punch spoke to this, though. The issue is that nobody wants to do that. None of the developers want to do that.
And the reason why is because they know that those games are not going to sell. As much as the diehard PlayStation fans want those games, the vast majority of the people that play on PS5 don't. And that's the reason why they haven't gambled on it. And I know people's like, well, they're remastering and remaking these other games, but that's because those games sold well in comparison. So when you keep seeing God of War and Uncharted remasters or remakes, those games all sold well. Does that make sense? Those games like Sly Cooper, you know, you guys name it. Those games did not even sell well even back in their heyday. So what makes you think that they're going to want to come back with these games now? I mean, look no further than Shadow Colossus. That game barely even eclipsed 2 million. Which also led to Blue Point Studios being closed down permanently.
Nobody wants to go back and remake and remaster these old franchises. Number one,
Well, if that was the case, they would even do it with their own titles. The problem is the fact they only want to do it with the popular ones. That's it.
I don't think there's market demand for it. Number two, you want the devs to be passionate about it. You don't want them just going back to do like some run through the greatest hits.
Well, that's what they're doing, though. What do you think God of War Trilogy is? A run through the greatest hits of all the God of War games that they've established back on PS2 as well as PS3. The difference is the fact that they're only focusing on particular IPs because those games have been successful. That's it. It's not that Sly Cooper, Jack and Dax. It's not that these games are not good, guys. It's the fact that they don't want to put a budget on a game that they know probably 99%, I would say 100% of the people are not going to pick up and play. It's that simple, guys. There's a reason why these games don't exist anymore, because you guys did not buy them. Games to win another W. How ponies claim that we buy exclusives, but yet for some reason their exclusives don't exist because you didn't buy them.
You know what I mean? Like that's not a good call. You don't want them doing that if they don't want to do it. And secondly, that would be once again criticized as, well, we're not getting anything new. We're not getting new IPs. We're just getting.
I mean, it's still better than what we're seeing now, though. It's still better than seeing a Days Gone and all that. At least you could be like, well, that makes sense. I mean, 20 years from now, we should get a remaster or remake to a game from 20 years ago. But what doesn't make sense to me, Reforge, is the fact that the PlayStation 5 is backwards compatible with all these PlayStation 4 titles that they got, and yet instead of giving you guys a free update, they are charging you to pay for the update for the PS5 version. That's what I don't understand. But hey, like I said, when you go full pony, you don't know what's best for you.
Rebakes and rehashes of old stuff. that would just be another list of complaints about the gen if they would have done that. I'm kind of glad they didn't, because I don't think those games would have sold all that particularly well, because I don't think a lot of people even remember those games or care about them.
Oh, he just exposed it. You see? And I mean, that's the only thing Reforge Gaming is right in this video. It's true. Most of the PlayStation fans don't actually care about those games.
I don't know. Remake Heavenly Sword. Remake Uncharted 1. Uncharted 2.
They've already... He's like, what? They've already done that with the PS... Yo, this is crazy, man. Just admit that you ponies have no games, man. Just admit it, bro. I don't know, how hard is it for you PlayStation fanboys to admit that you have no games to the point where you're like, remaster Uncharted. I thought y'all did that already. Matter of fact, I thought y'all did this with the Uncharted collection. Now you guys want another one? I mean, what is it? Uncharted Trilogy for the PlayStation. I mean, come on, man. Party like it's 2006 all over again? You're trying to tell me 20 years we haven't got over this hump yet?
Uncharted 3, just remake them. I'll play them.
Wow.
Remake those first 3 God of Wars. I'll play them. Heck.
Well, that's funny because this video is like 8 months old, and that's exactly what they did. These ponies, man, they got nothing.
Go even further back. Remake Siphon Filter.
Not gonna
Jumping
work.
Flash. I don't care. Why not remake Tekken 1, Tekken 2?
See how pony? See, the funny thing, you can tell he's more of a casual gamer. He doesn't understand that Sony don't own those games. You see, that's what I'm saying. PlayStation gamers throughout their whole childhood have built up their ideologies that these games were exclusive. Doesn't this guy know that Tekken is available on all platforms? Besides Nintendo Switch too, but it probably more likely would go there. But I'm just saying, what are you guys talking about? Remake Tekken, what do you mean? Sony don't own those games.
Tekken 3. Just think outside of the box, man. You got...
Well, I mean, that's fine. Yeah, you're right. Thinking outside the box. You lost me there, Real Talks games, but Sony don't own those. Okay, those games are not included in the box. You get what I'm saying?
Infinite amount of amazing games from way back in the day that you can remake and make bank. Because I show...
This is why I keep saying, when you come to the gen with your own list of like external checks of what makes it a good gen, there are plenty of people that would be screaming at him right now and saying, why would you want this gen to be a bunch of remakes and remasters of old games?
And
why?
I mean, but that's exactly what it is, though. So, I mean, at this point, he's like, well, at least remaster and remake the games that I want to play. At least remaster games from 20 years ago, not the games that are just backwards compatible on my PS5. I mean, that's probably the only argument that I can get out of this, but still, I mean, this remaster and remake crap is ridiculous.
There are people that hate that about this gen. They think we've gotten too many of remakes and remasters this gen, and it's not even that many. It's not.
There's a
and
lot.
Yet people are mad
There's
about
a lot.
it. Like, again, those people have a different list than him. Instead of making it about the games, you're making it about this list of things that you think they should have done or didn't.
Which also is games.
Do, and it's like, that's not how I judge games.
Show up for every single one of them. This doesn't mean you have to drop the live service thing, but you should... I don't know, man. You should be opening up studios focused on digging into crates and kind of dusting some stuff off and, remaking them.
Digging
I
them
think
crates.
there's a huge audience for this type of stuff.
Definitely not.
Because the vast majority of us are, graybeards. I've been around since the PS1.
But graybeards is not what's holding the gaming community together. I told you guys. Games to one another. I've called this way before anybody. I told you guys. You dinosaurs are going to go extinct. It's that simple. You have been replaced with the Fortnite gamer. That's what you have been, the casual.
I've been around even before the PS1, and I've been there for every generation. The 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, and I'm pretty sure a lot of...
If only Reforge gamer could say the same. He only jumped on PlayStation because of the grift.
You have too. And I'm just the type of guy who won't hesitate to buy a proper remake. Like the Oblivion remake, tremendous. Can't stop playing it. When that Silent Hill 2 remake dropped, I was all over it.
Crazy.
Those Resident Evil 2 through 4 remakes, all over it. No hesitation.
And then you guys wonder as to why people don't care about video gaming. I mean, at this point, what is the point of next generation hardware if all you're doing is playing the same old games that people have played 20 years ago? Like, I get maybe a few titles, but come on, man. It's getting to that point where it's like, what is the point in all this?
I picked them up ASAP. What about Sly Cooper?
Not
what about
gonna work.
Jack and Daxter?
Not gonna
Come
work.
on, man.
I'm telling you, the demand for those games to be remade is virtually non-existent. Y'all gotta let that go. And the guy
Let
at
it go.
literally said it.
Let it go.
Work on that right now. They want to make
go.
new stuff.
But what's actually new though? Because you're saying that now. I'm not disagreeing with Reforge Gaming's statement that we already know that if these games came out, that nobody would buy them. But you're saying that's not what they're doing. That's exactly what they're doing. God of War Trilogy, Days Gone, Horizon, the Horizon remake, whatever they call it, Last of Us remake, Last of Us Part 2 remastered. What they're gonna do PS6 generation? Right? Last of Us remastered and remade. Like, this is ridiculous, bro. You're saying that Sony is not doing it, but they are still doing it. Why do you think God of War Trilogy exists?
They want to make new games. They want to expand on the Ghost franchise.
New games.
They don't want to go back and remake these games. Nobody there is not a.
But they have, like I've said before, they've only focused on the ones that are popular. That's it. The new age PlayStation fan.
Huge, giant demand audience for these games. There just isn't. I'm telling you, there isn't.
Sony's got an arsenal of bangers. It doesn't even make sense. But I think I'll leave the video off here. I've got another idea to talk about why I'm not ready for the PS6, because I'm really not ready for the PS6.
Wow.
There's been talks of it potentially coming out like around 2027, and that doesn't make me happy at all. This is the first console generation where I am completely and absolutely not ready for the next one. Ooh. There is too much unfinished business with this PS5 to even be thinking about a PS6, in my opinion.
Damn.
COVID definitely had something to do with it. I think
COVID was an excuse. They used COVID to do this crap. It was an excuse.
Strange time warp. I don't know. Time is just weird and it doesn't make sense anymore. But anyways, I think we've got some serious unfinished business with the PS5 to even think about a PS6 right now.
Damn.
And I think I'm going to reserve this thought for...
It's crazy because this video that he made is from like 8 months ago. The channel is Rell, R-E-L-L, Talk Games. I actually found out the channel. Somebody actually left a link. Shout out to that dude. But like I said, man, you ponies is down bad, bro. You know what I mean? You got real PlayStation fans telling you, like, yo, PlayStation 5 just hasn't fulfilled it with me, man. I don't even think people felt like this during the Vita. You get what I'm saying? Even one dude in the comments like, man, I don't even think the Wii U felt this bad. And that was a failure. But like I said, they don't care. All they care is about 92 mil. We got 92 million shipped.
Today we're talking about the death of Xbox.
Because look at that, we got a double header, y'all. You know, we got ourselves a nice combo, 2-piece content creation combo meal today.
Some new crazy leaks have just come out.
Oh, here we go.
You know, on Friday, I talked about the resigning of Sarah Bond and Phil Spencer because it's obvious they got fired. But some people were a bit pissed. Some people were saying, okay, well, they claimed they're stepping down, but 4 games on PlayStation. And then suddenly it's every game goes to PlayStation.
Oh yeah, just like Sony said, we make PlayStation exclusives, and then even their games end up popping up on Xbox. Matter of fact, every game, you know, PlayStation 5, we're gonna have exclusives before they drop on PC to go as far to put the games even date and date even. What are you talking about? Last time I checked, Sony did a 182 though.
You know the one thing I think that always just pissed me off the most? The one line from Phil Spencer that never stopped blowing my mind. There was a time when he said, we can't just make great games. Everybody's playing on PlayStation and Nintendo. No matter how good Starfield is, you may never come to our console. Phil Spencer straight up said, legitimately on camera, dead to lens, we can't just make great games to sell Xboxes. Then what are we doing here? What the name of the game is the exclusives.
No, it's not. No, it's not. You guys keep lying to yourself. At the end of the day, you want to take that interview and you want to misconstrue it to fit your little console war fanboy agenda. Essentially what he's saying, it doesn't matter. Because when people agree that Blue Point Studios made good games, yeah, games, they were pretty good remakes and stuff. But then why did they close down? Oh! If it's all about exclusives, then why did they close down? Why did Media Molecule close down? Oh! Why did all these things happen? Why? Oh, that's right, because nobody bought exclusives. That's literally why. But yeah, you guys want to keep running with these narratives. At the end of the day, all Microsoft's saying, because of how strong third party is in today's gaming demographic, that no matter if they made the greatest game in the world, you're not going to get people to buy the Xbox. That's not the reason why people buying the PlayStation 5 in the first place. I can guarantee if you remove every single third-party game off PS5, that system would be dead. We already know what's keeping those systems alive. Maybe Nintendo, they got a little leadway, but even then, that's just because they focus on AA games. The day Nintendo hits AAA is the day, well, I don't think they'll ever do that because Nintendo's just cheap, right? AA games with AAA money. That's how Nintendo's philosophy is. So, like I said, the turtle playing the slow race is what worked for Nintendo at the end of the day.
If you make good games, maybe they're not going to sell their PlayStation and go to Xbox, but how is it that PlayStation got ahead? How is it that Nintendo Switch is getting ahead?
Third party. I think it's pretty easy to understand. And then on top of that, this is another thing where Phil Spencer said that the Xbox One generation was very important to win because he's essentially saying for how popular the PS4 was, of course they're going to buy the PS5. That's what he says. We should have capitalized on this during the Xbox One generation. So they could have transitioned all their fans over and they would have already had access. At that point, they would actually have a higher hardware sales. If Microsoft came with the Xbox One with backwards compatibility with 360 day and date when the system launched, bye-bye Sony. Sony's done. The only reason why PS5 is successful because they took the popularity of the PS4 gamer and transitioned them to the 5. It's that simple. No different than the PS1 going to PS2. No different than a DS going to a 3DS. It's that simple. If you bought the DS and the 3DS is backwards compat with the games that you previously bought on another system that you like, then of course your decision will be, well, I'm going to buy the next 3DS. I'm going to buy the next 3DS because I could take my old games and on top of it, I could look forward to the new software that they have. It's not that hard of a concept to understand.
I don't know, maybe making games that you have to play on their platform. The fact that Xbox just throws up their hands and goes, we can't, it's so hard. It's outlandish to me. But
all this while Blue Point Studios closed down. I mean, you can't make this up, people. 12 live service and subscription games, and they out here mocking Xbox for why they can't make games. If anything, Microsoft has been making way more games than y'all. Y'all still out here focusing on trilogies and remasters and remakes.
This out, right? Literally, their incompetent leadership. They gave up their competitive position, two-tiered consoles that made game development almost impossible, mismanaging dozens of games. Sarah Bond really was as bad as this article says. Yikes. I do think this is a multi-level problem. If you're allowing somebody this bad at their job to make this many crazy, core, crucial decisions back to back to back to back, that's a Microsoft problem. That's not just uniquely a Sarah Bond issue. Wowzers. So, it's official. Phil Spencer fired, Sarah Bond is also fired. That is the end. But how do you feel about this? How do you about...
The funny thing is, man, like, you guys keep doing this, man. And the funny thing is, look at it. Oh, yeah, matter of fact, that don't even sound right. You know, the funny thing is about you PlayStation fanboys. You guys keep claiming that the PlayStation 5 is popular because of exclusives. But then when you look at the top paid games on their console, I can guarantee you, I say 100%, because I'm never wrong on this, 100% of your games is third party. Okay? None of these exclusives that you guys keep claiming that brought people to your platform is the reason why PS5 is successful in regards to hardware sales. It is successful because they transitioned the PS4 owner to the PS5, no different than the Switch 1 to Switch 2. Of course, Switch 2 is going to be an easy crossover because it's backwards compact. Even with the Lackluster library of games, because it's still a Switch 1. It's still backwards compatible with my Switch 1 games. No different than how people upgrade from an iPhone. Well, it's iPhone 16 to a 17, or 18 or 19 or 20 or 20. It's easy to transition because you've already had everything on the previous device. All you got to do is buy the new one and transition all your games or whatever software, whatever you want to call it, over to the next one. It's that simple. But to say that the PS5 is successful when your games barely get even eclipse 1 million is absolutely asinine to me. Returnal only sold about 1 million copies. Now, the game sold well for the budget that they put in, but I'm just saying 1 million copies is still 1 million copies. Out of 92 million people that own this console, and you're out here walking out with 1 million sales? Then you wonder why Sony don't want to take chances on AAA games anymore, because unfortunately, there's not enough of you fanboys to buy these so-called beloved game titles.
Bought a PS5. The reason why I have a PS5 Pro right now, mind you,
Pro
that is collecting a crazy amount of dust.
Dust.
Because I want to
Tony
play
dust.
high quality AAA games from Sony Studios. The reason why I have
you see the difference between a fanboy and a PlayStation fan? Keep talking, brother.
this console in the first place was because of Demon's Souls remake, was because of Ratchet and Clank Ripped Apart, was because of Returnal, was because of the list can go. I can go